Greetings, students. Today I'm going to talk to you about book talks. We've said we were going to do some book projects, and this is what we're going to do. You need one book talk per 9-week grading period. The first one is going to be a little shorter because it's an 8-week grading period, and we got into the library a little later. This first one, you're going to be on my timetable. After that, if you want to go faster through it, you can. But the first time, we want to stick to my due dates. What is a book talk? Okay. Well, first off, think movie trailer. It's really just a fun way to share your book with other people. Just like a movie trailer, it tells all about a movie but doesn't give away the ending. And so you'll have some guidelines for that. But in order to get to the point where we can tell all about a book, we want to go through a few steps to help make sure we're reading well and that our comprehension will get to that point. Our biggest goal is just to share our book and share what we're reading with others. Now I'm going to give you two choices. You could complete it completely digital in Google Classroom, or you can have paper copies and glue it in your reader's notebook. Either way, it's your job to keep track of it and make sure it's done on time. So as far as timetable and due dates, I want you to think that for every assignment you have about a week to complete it. That means I assign it in class, we start working on it. You don't finish, you finish it outside of class. You need to be reading outside of class for 20 minutes at least every night. So reading is going to be the big thing, and you can do that during advisory. Before school, my classroom is open if you'd like to come read in my classroom. The library is also open if you'd like to come read in the library. And you can do it after school, even in ACE. So there's plenty of time to read. And then you work on these activities. Like I said, we'll start them in class. Some people will be able to finish, others will need to take it home. You can check your progress in Google Classroom. You can check your progress by anything you have glued in your journal. All right, so let's look. The first week we will do a pre-read activity. This time it's going to be due, you're going to have a little bit longer to work on it, and I'll explain why. After that, you're going to have a stop and jot activity. You'll have a week, we'll begin that. After that, you're going to do a graphic organizer, then a journal entry. This time, because we're short a week, the journal entry will be completed 100% in class. So that will help us with that assignment. By week 5, or in our case, week 4, you need to be able to AR test over your book and complete a pre-write. So when you're choosing your book, you need to make sure that it's an AR testable book. Even books not from our library have AR tests. If for some reason the book you have does not have an AR test, you can talk to me, and I do have some ways to work around that, but it's definitely harder because your AR test just proves that you read the book. All right, and then we'll have a book talk and final response. So I have those due dates listed for you. So let me go ahead and show you our first assignment. This is the pre-read assignment. You're going to need to read through your book to get started on it. Check the level of the book. If it's too hard, you need to return it and get something else. If it's too easy, you might think about getting something more challenging. If it's boring, you need to decide now that you don't like it and change your book. That's okay. We went to the library yesterday, and then you can go to today if you need to just do a quick change out, and we'll be going again on Wednesday. So that gives us plenty of time to find the right book. All right. So let me show you if I were doing my book. So I picked a book off my shelf. This is Roald Dahl's James and the Giant Peach. You'll have a copy of this assignment in Google Classroom. I'll also have some paper assignments if you'd rather do it on paper. And I just type directly into the document. So the title of this is James and the Giant Peach. Remember that titles are capitalized except for the smaller words. The author is Roald Dahl. Okay. Genre is what type of book. If you got the book from the library, you should on the spine be able to see if it says FIC, it's fiction. And then you can kind of decide, is it a mystery book, that kind of thing. If it's short story, it would say short story or poetry. If it has numbers, it's definitely a nonfiction, but you can talk to me about discovering what genre it is if you're unsure. You can even do a Google search. Sometimes they'll have it labeled already. This is a fiction, okay? And it's definitely not a realistic fiction. It's a little more on the fantasy side, but I'll just leave it as fiction. Number of pages. So I'll flip through to the end of my book. I see that this book has, a little hard to find here, 146 pages. So I'll write 146. Okay. Now I need to decide if I can read this book. All right, most times you're gonna have 5 weeks. This time you're gonna have 4 weeks. So I do want you to be very cautious in picking a book. You might pick a book that's a little smaller than you would normally pick. So you want to be able to finish it in 4 weeks. So I'm gonna go ahead and change that right here. You want 4 weeks. And if I read, I'll be honest with myself, I'm not gonna read every single night. I will probably read during the weeknights, but not on the weekends. So I'll say 5 times a week, and that would equal 20 days. So I need to divide my book, number of pages, by the number of days I'm going to read. So I'll pull out my handy dandy calculator. I'm using the one on my phone. You guys can use the one on your computer. I'll do 146, right? 146. I will divide it by 20. All right, that means I need to read 7.3 pages a day. Do I feel I can do that? I can do that easily. If you get a bigger number like 16 and you don't feel you can do that, don't. If your number is super small, like a 3 or 4, you're like, hey, this will be super easy. You might think of a bigger book. But you need to decide right now if you think you can finish it. And right here it says 5 weeks. We're going to go ahead and change that to 4. Okay. And yes or no, I'm going to highlight. So I'm just going to highlight this. I'm going to go up here to text color, go to the highlight tool, and I'm going to highlight in yellow that yes, I can finish it in 4 weeks. Next says draw or insert a picture of your book's cover. Well, if I had this on paper, I would just draw it. Since I don't, I'm going to search for it. Now, book covers by nature are copyrighted. So you're not going to find some copyright free place to do it. You're just going to have to do a Google search. What I really love about the Google apps is we can actually do that right here. So if I go to, let me move my screen up a little bit. All right, if I go up to insert, I'm going to go to image, and I'm going to do the search. I want to search for James and the Giant Peach. Do a quick search. Okay, I'm not seeing my book cover come up. See a lot of different things. I really was hoping for a book cover. Let's see if I type in book cover, if that will help. They have an older book cover, it looks like. But nothing I'm looking for. So perhaps this might not work because I think these are labeled for reuse. And remember I said they're not copyrighted. So they are copyrighted. So I might want to X out of this. I might just do a new tab in Google and do James. Hold on. You guys can't see that. I'll do it down here. James and the Giant Peach book. I will click on images. Yes, they're copyrighted, but that's about the only way you're going to get a picture of it. Oh, that one looks more like mine. Click on it. I can right click. I usually do a save image, and I usually save it to my desktop. I'm going to title it James. That way I can delete it later. I save it. I go back to my document. I click insert image. I'm going to do upload. I'm going to choose an image from my desktop. I labeled it James. I think it's about time I need to clear off my desktop so that I can find things a little easier. It's right here. I click open. It's going to upload it. Okay, it's putting it in. I want it to stay on one page, so I may want to shrink this a little. So I want to bring the size down a little. Not too big. Okay. Just a small one. There, I like that. Okay. All right, now I have some more questions. This time my questions are saying answering the following questions by restating the question and creating a complete sentence. Why did I choose this book? So I would say I chose this book because I had read Boy by Roald Dahl and really liked it. Okay? It says my response needs to be more than one sentence. And said, I also read the back and thought it was interesting. All right. What do you think this will be about? Well, it's kind of cheating because I've already read it, but I think it will be about, I think this book will be about a boy named James and his adventure on a giant beach. Okay, I've got to wrap this up because I'm running out of time, but as you can see, it took me from start to finish less than 5 minutes to complete this. Okay, so this is going to be your first assignment. You'll complete it in Google Classroom, or you can have the paper copy. And if you change your book, you have to go back and change this file. All right, thanks so much. Y'all have a great day. Bye.